Alright guys, welcome back. This time we're going over the rogues with the rogue secrets. Items and gear in Classic that you will need for TBC. Let's get it. First off, as usual, my co-authors, massive thanks to Doggy and Stay Down for all the information and overall huge brain rogue knowledge. Stay Down is a massive rogue. Arguably, Stay Down and Doggy are the two top rogues in the TBC community, in my opinion. They're both currently rating in top guilds on private servers. They both have multiple years as strictly rogues in the TBC community, and they're respected in the community as well. Bro, thank both of you guys for all your help. I would not be able to do this without you. Thank you, man. So why should you care? There are many items that you can obtain during your adventures in Azeroth that can be used for leveling, dungeons, and heroics, and some are even pre-BiS for raiding when you enter Outlands. If you get these pieces, keep hold of them and you can find yourself saving some time, sanity, and even some gold. Rogue is one of the only classes actually that will not use any classic gear as T4 Pre-BiS. However, it's strong enough to level, rep grind, or heroic grind with, and also you can skip out on some pre-BiS and use these as well. It's just not like the min-max way, you know? So in this video, I'll only be showing swords as well because it's a meta for rogues, not daggers. Hope you enjoy and let me know in the comments if we missed anything. A side note that I was asked to put in, okay? Unlike any other class, a rogue's primary damage comes from auto attacks. This results in their primary stat being hit, and you want to aim for 27%, way higher than most other classes, okay? However, reaching 27% is near impossible until you start rating T6. And really impossible if Blizzard decides to do a 2.0 server where there's no hit gems, by the way. So unless you're gimping, unless you're gimping your Agi and so you can get to the hit cap, but you're going to be losing so much agility and attack power if you do so, okay? A rogue does not have a set in stone BiS list, since a rogue's best in slot varies depending on which items is currently obtained and your hit and stuff. So you always want to maintain your hit versus attack power. So in pre-raid BiS T4 content, you want to be at around 17 to 18% hit, right? While maintaining roughly 1500 attack power, excluding your flasks and whatnot, all right? And there's little rogue stat weights if you want to as well. Just pause the video and check it out. All right, so basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, show you your classic piece, your TBC piece, read off the stats and shit, and tell you what you should choose for pre-BiS. So start, you have the T3 helmet out of Nax. Obviously it has 10 hit rating, 28 crit, 30 agility, which is pretty nice. And on the TBC side, we have the engineering goggles, 48 agility, a meta socket, a blue socket, 11 hit, and 76 attack power. And out of Old Hills Brad Foothills heroic waist stalker helm, blue, and a meta socket with the 22 crit and 18 hit and the 56 attack power. Very important here is the 2-set bonus down here. Increases your hit rating by 35. It's pretty fat, okay? You're gonna end up wearing one of these. Not in the head slot. Usually it's like, what is it, shoulders and legs, but this is a really good thing to get anyway, usually. Last but not least, out of Steambolt's normal helmet of the claw, 25 agility, yellow, and a meta socket, 14 hit, 66 attack power. Really nice, okay? So right away, all rogues should be engineering. There's no reason not, look how good they are. There's no reason not to be engineering, okay? With that being said, Deathbolt goggles from engineering are super, super good. They're amazing, as you can tell, and you'll use them likely into T6, actually. If you're not engineering, then aim for Wastewalker for the 2-piece hit bonus, because as I mentioned, rogues need a lot of hit, like a metric fuck ton of hit. And on occasion, you'll use a mix of the 2-piece anyway, so it's nice to have some options, okay? Typically, it's shoulders and legs, but like I said, you can run all your Primal Strike if you run shoulders. The reason you run shoulders and legs is because you want leatherworking Primal Strike, okay? The 3-piece Primal Strike. In order to do that, you need to run your Wastewalker helm, but usually it's not a helm, sorry, but usually it's in shoulders and legs. That's why. But it's nice to have this just in case something happens and you're super short on hit, you can bench something, okay? So I'll mention that in all the Wastewalker spots. As for Helmet of the Claw, you can get this from a normal dungeon, and you can actually use that until you farm up your heroic right here, or until you can craft your engineering, okay? Next up, big neckies. So out of BWL, you have Prester's Talisman of Connivery, whatever, however you say it, 25 agility, 10 hit, 22 attack power. And out of Nax, you have Storm Rage's Talisman of Seething, 12 stam, 28 crit, 26 attack power. Pretty crappy, actually. And for their badges, you have Choker of Vile Intent. I think it costs 25 badges, I'm pretty sure. 20 agility, 18 hit, 42 attack power. And then the Bone Chain Necklace out of Underdog Heroic. It's really nice, 19 agility, 13 hit rating, and 36 attack power. And lastly, out of a quest item you get while you're leveling, 23 agility, 13 hit, 20 attack power, Earthen Mark of the Raising. So Prester's out of BWL is insanely good if you think about it, especially because it came from BWL, right? Earthen is technically better, right? Since the 3 hit equates roughly to 7 attack power, so versus the 4 attack power you get from Prester's, but it's minute, it's super small. However, Earthen is a quest you do before you're even 70, like I said, so there's really no reason not to use it. Whatever you decide, use either of those until you farm up your bachelors for Choker of the Vile Intent, which gets used until Black Temple. Yes, Bone Chain is better than Earthen's, however, you have to farm a heroic every day and hope it drops, and then if it drops, you gotta hope that you get it, so it's kind of suggested you skip it. Next up, shoulders. So out of Nax, you have your T3 shoulders, 22 agility, 14 crit rating, and 10 hit. And then you have your, out of Aconite Crypt's Heroic, the other Wastewalker, one of the Wastewalker set, 25 agility, a red socket, and a blue socket, with a 3 crit rating, which doesn't matter for the socket bonus really. 16 hit, 34 attack power, sorry. And out of a quest, out of Shattered Halls, you have the Expedition Scouts Epaulets, whatever, 25 agility, 24 hit, and 50 attack power. And the last two out of OHF normal, Mantle of Paranold, no agility, but 2 red sockets, 23 crit, 23 hit, and 20 attack power. And then for your revered rep at a mag, and there's also an alliance version as well. I just put the horde one because I'm a horde, zug baby. Tollbuck Hide Spolders, 20 agility, 15 hit, and a 70 attack power. So T3 shoulders are very, very underwhelming here, really. Meanwhile, Expedition Scouts Epaulets are really good, right? However, they're alliance only right away. So if you're alliance, use them until you can farm up your Wastewalker from Heroic Arcanite Crypts. If you're not alliance, then use Mantle of Paranoid until you can get Wastewalker. If you're engineering and leatherworking like you should be, you will end up running Wastewalker 2-piece shoulders with the legs. Okay, like I mentioned earlier. The rep shoulders right here shouldn't be used since these scout ones are from a dungeon quest, and it's also got 9 more hit. All right, next up, Cloak. Shroud of Dominion at a Nax. This has 11 stam, 14 crit, and 50 attack power. And then you have the Aconite Death Shroud, 15 agility, 17 hit rating, 36 attack power. And then a BOE, Vengeance Wrap, 1 red socket, which is nice. No agility, notice that. 23 crit and 52 attack power. And the last two for 25 badges, you have Blood Knight War Cloak, 23 agility, 48 attack power. And then a BOE Cloak of the Craft, 25 agility, 13 hit, 20 attack power, okay? Shroud of Dominion is actually really good, but it's lacking the hit that Aconite Death Shroud has, right? Thus, you want to farm this immediately. You're farming this, like, you do this right away. Until then, you can get this BOE because it's a cheap BOE. You can buy off the auction house. Don't bother wasting time or money on Vengeance Wrap, though, because you will end up replacing every single one. Whatever cloak you choose, you're replacing it as soon as you step into Karazhan, okay? So don't worry about it. Plus, there's no hit on the wrap, and it's expensive, so just don't even worry about it. Don't be tricked by the fact that it's purple, okay? Next up, chest. So of course we have our T3 chest, right? Garbage. Actually, it's really not that bad. 80 attack power, no agility, 10 hit, 28 crit. Not too crazy. It's not the worst in the world, but it's not that bad. And then your first piece of Primal Strike, which is a Primal Strike vest. It's out of leatherworking, 38 agility, 12 hit, 108 attack power, and the 3-piece bonus of 40 attack power. They're huge. That's the goal, obviously. Out of Blood Furnace Heroic, you have the other Wastewalker, or another Wastewalker, which is chest, 28 agility, 3 sockets, 56 attack power. And then out of Blood Furnace normal is the Vest of Vengeance, which is a 27 agility, 18 stamina, 3 different colored sockets, sorry, 11 hit rating and 42 attack power. So here's the deal. T3 chest is actually pretty good. It really is. However, if you're leatherworking, which you should be, I can't stress that enough, you're already not pumping that hard because you're a rogue. Not just rogue, you're melee in general, right? So to min-max the most, you need to be leatherworking. I can't stress that enough, okay? You obviously want Primal Strike. In the meantime, Vest of Vengeance is from a normal. That's really easy to get. Get those. Wear those until you can craft Primal Strike, okay? As for your Wastewalker, I'd still farm them. Not more of a hard farm, just kind of like a soft farm, even though it lacks hit, because it's nice to have options on the 2-piece Wastewalker set. Plus, you actually end up using Wastewalker Tunic and T4 once you get Skulker Leggings from Karazhan. You're still going to need that hit, okay? Next up, good old Bracers. T3 Bracers, 26 agility and garbage stats, 14 crit. Next. Okay, another Primal Strike, which is the second part of the 3 set. It'll be some Bracers, as you can tell, 15 agility, 64 attack power, and an OHF Heroic Nightfall Wrist Guards, which is 46 attack power, 24 agility. Those are really nice. And then you have the out of Quest, out of Shadow Labs, when you hit 70 right away, Spy Mistress Wrist Guards, 18 agility, 1 red socket, and 15 hit. And then lastly, a green Quest item, 12 agility, 9 hit, and 42 attack power. Yes, I know it's green, but I'm trying to show you how good this is, okay? So with Bracers, let's be real, T3 Bracers are ass, bro. They're super ass. However, all 4 of these TBC Bracers are really good and extremely close in value, okay? With Nightfall Wrist Guards actually slightly edging out Primal Strike. However, the 3 set with Primal Strike is what we're after, right? Obviously that 48 attack power, 40 attack power, whatever it was. Thus, you can skip hunting down Nightfall, okay? Unless you really want it, but be known that OHF, right? Old Hillsbrad Foothills Heroic is arguably the worst Heroic in TBC. Just because of the mob, everything that has to do with the mobs. You'll see when you get there. Just trust me, it's garbage, okay? Where was I? Spy Mistress wrist guards and Night Stalker's wrist guards, even as a green quest drop. Those are both extremely strong, and which one you use depends on your hit. However, I will say you get Night Stalker's wrist guards at level like 62 or 64 or something, okay? Yeah, but so which one you choose depends on your hit. If you do not need hit, which you more than likely will, then use Spy Mistresses. If you don't need the hit, then use Night Stalkers, all with the goal of getting Primal Strike. Next up, gloves. We have our T3 gloves out of Nax, obviously. I'm going to stop saying out of Nax because they're all out of Nax, right? 10 hit, no agility, 66 attack power, 14 crit rating, not that bad. And you have your leatherworking fell leather gloves, 2 sockets, no agility, 17 hit rating, 24 crit, and 36 attack power. And out of Arc Normal, you have the gloves of the Unbound, 27 agility, 20 stam, 2 sockets, and 38 attack power. Lastly, last 2 are out of Black Morass Normal. You have Hand Grips of the Assassination, 25 agility, 24 stam, 17 hit, and 50 crit, or 50 attack power, sorry. And at Shadowhall's Normal, you have Wastewalker gloves, okay? 32 agility, 33 stam, 2 sockets, 16 attack power. Not that bad, okay? So for the gloves, the T3 gloves are okay, but fell leather gloves will give you the best raw stats. And these are so easy to get because there's going to be a million leather workers. There's going to be more leather workers, I think, than any other, I'm for sure, I will bet anybody on this. There's more leather workers than any other profession because of the drums, just strictly because of drums. Everyone's gonna have leatherworking. And the number one way to level up your leatherworking is by making the fell leather set, okay? So these are gonna be really cheap all over the AH, okay? However, it is worth farming the Wastewalker gloves, okay? It's worth farming the Wastewalker gloves for options on your 2-piece while working towards your optimal setup, because this is one of the only, if not the only, set of the Wastewalker that comes from a normal. The rest of them come from a heroic, okay? And if you haven't got another option with the other Wastewalker because they're out of heroic, you can definitely run this for your hit, and you should. All right. Gloves of the Unbound and Hand Grips are both decent alternatives, with Hand Grips actually edging out Gloves of the Unbound. Use either of those until you have farmed the gold for the leather gloves, unless you need your hit, obviously. Next up, belt. So you have your T3 belt, which has actually has agility on finally, 24 agility, 20 stam, 23 strength, and then 14 crit rating. Garbage. Out of AQ, you have the Belt of Never-Ending Agony. This is an insane build, actually. 64 attack power, 14 crit rating, and 10 hit rating. And then, of course, on your TBC side, you have the Primal Strike Leatherworking Belt. 20 agility, 32 stamina, 84 attack power. And then out of Black Morass Heroic, you have Girdle of the Death Dealer. 28 agility, 28 stam, 20 hit, and 56 attack power. Nutty. And the last 2 are out of OHF Heroic, another shitty Heroic run. Apox Whispering Cinch, 25 agility, 24 stamina, 17 hit rating, 40 attack power. And then out of Arc Normal, Naru's Belt of Precision. I don't know why I stuttered that. I apologize. 25 agility, 15 hit rating, 21 dodge, 44 attack power. It's so nice. Okay, so a couple really spicy choices for belts on rogues. Okay, this is kind of cool. And while the classic options are pretty insane, not really T6 but T3 by the way, but Girdle of the Death Dealer is even more insane. Okay, this is really good. Some say it's so good that you can even break your 3-piece Primal Strike for it if you wanted, and you would have no stat loss pretty much. However, you would lose a ton of AP because of the set bonus on this, okay? So that's up to you. Either way, it's 100% worth farming Girdle of the Death Dealer, as it's part of your optimal T4 BiS setup. So I know this is a pre-BiS T4, but just know that in T4 you will be using this, so go ahead and get that, okay? Even if you're not going to use it right now. Even before Karazhan, you can break your 3-piece Primal Strike for this belt alone, okay? This would also open up bracers and chest slots, saving you a lot of gold for the other for items and consumables, you know what I mean? In the meantime, until you can get Girdle or Primal Strike, replace Belt of Never-Ending Agony with Naru Belt of Precision, okay? Easy. All right, next up, legs. You have the T3 legs with 32 agility, 14 crit, and 10 hit rating. And then you have your Adamantium Heroic, another piece of Wastewalker, 31 agility, 3 sockets, 19 hit, 28 attack power. And then you have your leatherworking fell leather gloves, 3 sockets again, 25 hit, 25 crit, 52 attack power, okay? Then lastly, out of Slaypin's Heroic, the Midnight Leg Guards. 3 sockets again, 27 crit, 17 hit, and 64 attack power. So T3 pants are really shitty and underwhelming here. Don't worry about those. So you're gonna replace those right away. Now, pick up fell leather leggings immediately. They're on the auction house. They'll be super cheap for the same reason as all the other fell leather pieces, because all the leatherworking guys are gonna be spamming it to make it so they can get their drums, okay? And use these until you can get the Wastewalker leggings off the to drop out of you for a Mana Team's Heroic, sorry. And it's completing your 2-piece. So you're running this with your in an optimal setup, you're running this with your shoulders, like I said, okay? Midnight legs are good, pretty much the same stats, and you get more stam, but it's not really worth farming because it's a heroic. So skip it. Next, boots. T3 boots. No agility, 10 hit, 14 crit, 64 attack power. Next up, fell leather boots, another fell leather leatherworking, 2 sockets, 25 hit, 17 crit, 36 attack power, and lastly, the Master's Treads. It's a BOE. You can get the auction house for pretty cheap. 24 agility, 16 hit rating, 43 attack power, and increases your effective stealth by 1. Not that big of a deal, obviously. Now, with boots, pretty simple. T3 boots are good. So are Master's Threads. Pick these up at the auction house until you can afford to get the fellow others, because these will probably be cheaper than this. Actually, they may not even be cheaper than that. These might actually be even cheaper, really. But either way, you want fell leather boots, and they are conveniently located on the auction house. Next up, rings. All right, out of classic, you have 2 rings. You have your T3 ring, which is garbage, 20 agility, 10 hit, but then you have the Band of Unnatural Forces, no agility, 14 crit, 10 agility, 52 attack power. And then you have your Kalon's Signet, 15 agility, 10 hit, 50 attack power, and then, which is from a quest item, and another quest item, Slayer's Mark of Redemption, 15 agility, 10 hit, 50 attack power. And the last 2 are Adamantium's Heroic, Shafar's Band of Brutality, no agility, 20 crit rating, 19 hit, and 40 attack power. And Lower City Exalted Rep, Shapeshifter, Signet, 25 agility, 18 stamina, 20 expertise rating. Okay, so the T3, so classic wise, T3 ring is garbage, but Band of Natural Forces, on the other hand, is actually phenomenal. However, sadly, Kalon's Trinket and Slayer's Mark are slightly better due to the Agi on both of them, and they're both quest rewards that you can get immediately. I mean, they're super easy, okay? And you use both of these well into T4. Side note, Shafar's Band is very good, okay? But we have to wait and see what patch TBC Classic launches at, because this was not available at launch, right? But it is, and it is a rare drop from Heroic. Next up, shapeshifters. Don't worry about getting the red. I'm just showing this because before people go, oh, there's a purple one you missed. I didn't miss it. It's here. It's garbage. Don't worry about it. Okay, it's not garbage, but it's not better than these 2, so I'm marking it as garbage. All right, next up, Trinkets. Out of Nax, you have the Slayer's Crest, 64 attack power with an on use to get 260 attack power for 20 seconds. And also out of Nax, Kiss of the Spider. They equip 14 crit rating, 10 hit rating, and an on use of 200 haste for 15 seconds. And at Nax, Mark of the Champion, increased attack power by 150 when fighting undead and demons. And then at an AQ, Badge of the Swarm Guard gives a chance on melee and range attack to apply an armor penetration effect on you for 30 seconds, lowering the target's physical armor by 200 by your own attacks, and it stacks up to 6 times. Lastly, DFT at a BWL, you know what it is, and you're probably wearing it right now. 56 attack power, 20 hit rating, 12 dodge rating. For TBC side, you got badges, or with your badges, you have Bloodlust Burst, 72 attack power, 278 on use attack power for 20 seconds on a 2-minute cooldown, and you have Black Morass normal, Hourglass of the Unraveler, 32 crit rating, with an equip chance on critical hit to increase your attack power by 300 for 10 seconds. Very good trinket. Annoying to get, but very good. And a quest at a Hellfire Peninsula, Blade Fist Breath, whatever. The dude's breath, okay? 26 crit rating, on use attack power 200 for 15 seconds on a 2-minute cooldown, okay? Now, for trinkets, look, the trinkets are fucking spicy, guys, okay? As with all other classes, the classic trinkets are very, very good. Mark of the Champion is BiS as fuck for, look, 150 attack power when you're fighting undead and demons. More than half of Karazhan is undead and demon, okay? All but 4 bosses of Black Temple is undead and demon. Most of Sunwell Plateau is undead and demon. You see what I'm getting at? It's insane. So other than that, unless you're fighting undead and demons, right? You'll use Slayers and Kiss of the Spider until you get Bloodlust, and then you'll drop Slayers for Bloodlust, since this is just a direct upgrade to Slayers. And Hourglass is really annoying trinket to farm. It is at a normal, but I've never seen this drop quick. I've never heard anybody seen this drop quick. You can get lucky, obviously, it's RNG, but you want this. It's really good. But at some point you will get it. When you do that, just use this with Bloodlust, okay? Keep Slayers and Kiss of the Spider for trinket swapping. And lastly, just to mention it, Badge of Swarm Guard is pretty good, but the armor pin for a rogue doesn't scale up until you get more of it, more armor pin. So armor pin is good, but only if you have more armor pin as a rogue, which is in T6. Next up, Main Hand. Out of Nax, Gressel, Dawn of Ruin, 15 stam, 40 attack power. And for TBC side, we have 2, Alder's Exalted, Rep, Vindicator's Brand, 19 hit, 38 attack power. Not that bad. It's really pretty good. And you have, of course, PvP, the Gladiator weapon, Season 1. Improves your critical strike by 15, your resilience by 10, your hit by 9, and your attack power by 28. And the last two would be Blink Strike, which is a BOE, grants an extra attack on your next swing, and it's pretty good damage, really good damage. And then you have Dragon Maul, which is a crafted blacksmithing weapon, increases your haste rating by 200, or it's a chance on hit to increase your haste rating by 212 for 10 seconds. As per every class thus far that I've done, the classic weapons are not that good. They're kind of shit, really. You replace them while you're leveling. But at, I don't know. Actually, you know what? These are probably on par with level 70 blues. I haven't looked into it as a rogue, but it seems about on par with level 70 blues. However, once at 70, it's suggested you absolutely hard farm Vindicators, okay? Absolutely hard farm Vindicators, okay? This is your best bet weapon. Do not even worry about the other weapons. Blink Strike is your best bet if you're not outdoors, technically, but you should be outdoors, obviously. There's no reason for you not to be outdoors. And Dragon Ball is also good, right? But it's not worth going BS as swords, because swords is going to outshine the mace in T4, especially in T4. Gladiator Slicer is more damage than Vindicators, but it's less stats, and it takes about 3 or 4 weeks to obtain if you're actively in arena trying to get it, making it much harder farm. But worth if you're going to be PvPing anyway, which a lot of rogues are, then don't even worry about it. Next up, Offhands. Now, Nax, Hungry and Cold, 14 stamina, and 14 expertise, sorry. And your 2 from TBC are Lateral Shifting Sword, you've heard of it, 15 agility, 14 expertise, which is fat, 26 attack power. And the PvP offhand, obviously, can't forget that, 21 stam, 15 crit rating, 10 resilience, 9 hit, and 28 attack power. Straight up, Lateral Shifting Sword is super easy to get. It's a 1.4 speed, which is rare to find with offhands. It's slightly worse than Gladiator Spellblade, so a Quick Blade. But if you're already PvPing, then obviously you're gonna get the Quick Blade, but let's be real, you guys gonna all PvP. So you have 3 or 4 weeks to get the offhand if you're PvPing, or the main hand. So like, which one are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Either way, I would just suggest this is really good. People are using this for a long time. Last and certainly least, ranged. So you have Nerubian Slavemaker at a Nax, 24 attack power, 14 crit rating, and then the ones at a TBC are the Veteran's Musket, which is 11 hit and 22 attack power, which is the Honored Hold side, which is Alliance, and the Thrallmar side, which is Horde, is going to be the same stats. But, you know, hey, there you go. And the last two, a BOE is called Spine Sever, 11 agility, which is nice. Okay. 10 hit rating, 20 attack power, and of course a quest out of Nether Storm. I know it's a green, but it's so good. It's so good. It's called Mama's Insurance. 6 crit rating and 32 attack power. My guys, it's beefy. Now, pretty much use Nerubian Slavemaker until you can do the quest for Mama's Insurance while you're leveling, which I think is level like 64 or 65. And then use this until you can get the rep for Veteran's Musket if you're Alliance, or Horde, Marksman, Bow. Simple as that. All right, guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope these are helping somebody out there. Anybody out there, please let me know if they are. Hit me up in the comments if we missed anything, please. No toxicity. Just say, hey, yo, you missed this. What's up? I'll edit it in later. We can fix it. Or anything I can do to make my feedback, or any feedback to make my shit better, I need, okay? I know my audio's scuffed. I'm getting a mic. It's in the mail right now. Everything will sound better, hopefully, this next video, okay? And a side note, every Monday evening, we have a TBC podcast. We're on week 5. We just did a huge one about melee DPS last week. We got range DPS, heavy hitters, range DPS, man. We got heavy hitters in there. We got excellent guests in there. It's the #1 spot for any kind of information in general, huge TBC knowledge, okay? The link to that will be on Cargos Gaming's YouTube. It'll be in the description. Also, I'm on Twitch. A lot. I mean, enough at least, at twitch.tv/CargosGaming_. We got primarily Warlock content. I do my TBC raids. I do a little bit of classic hardcore, but typically it's all TBC.